Good morning, it's Helen, and I see my hair is crazy. I'm so fortunate, I'm right here, and Szara's going to join us, and we actually get to talk, don't we? We get to talk today about parenthood. We started off last week with a very short conversation around motherhood. Here we go, and here's Szara going to. And in a minute, she's going to join us. There she is. Woohoo! Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. I feel a bit wild.
We need to be back together.
I know, aren't we fortunate? We were just in conversation on a phone. Now we get to see each other live and video. Yay! So welcome to your Friday morning committed parenting video. And today we are really, I don't know, I'm really stoked. What we get to talk about today is parenthood. Zara's got something going on.
This is maybe a good expression of parenthood. Gunk on your clothes. I'm like, oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. So as we talk about, like, what does it mean to be a parent? Like, for us, when we think of parenthood, like, it could spark whole worlds and ideas and pictures of parents. And we each kind of have our own different view of what it is to be a parent and what parenthood is. And one of them I just see is parenthood is like never having clean clothes, isn't it?
Like it really takes something to walk out the house with clean clothes, right? Or to be, oh, sorry, I just jiggled the video. To be like in clean clothes first thing in the morning, yes.
Yeah, like can a parent actually like be dressed lovely and like stay, like I almost like envision these people, and like to me they would be like unreal avatars of what a parent like would never imagine. This
you just froze.
Like sparkly woman that just looks all so perfectly put together and just like daunting around, and like nothing, like ketchup can come her way and snot and throw up and it just like doesn't stick to her.
Oh, I got it. Okay. And I wondered too, like, no, but it's the same. It's not in the physical realm, but like upset doesn't stick either, Like I had the most delightful conversation with Benjamin this morning as I was leaving the house, like, and he makes me laugh a lot. But that's not always the case. Like when you're leaving the house, that somebody is all happy and chappy, and sometimes you get to walk out of the house with people upset, and like it's all part of parenthood. I was just gonna say, I started thinking a little bit, when I had wanted to be a parent for a long time before we actually had kids. We were told we would never have children without having in vitro fertilization, right? And so it was like 5 years of waiting. And during that time, I read every book about parenting because I was vowed and determined, right, that I was going to be the best parent I could be. No, the best parent on the planet. No, just the best parent, right? And I wanted to know everything. And
you were going to be the demonstration of doing it right.
That's it. You totally nailed it. Damn.
Because I had that too.
Did you?
Yeah. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
No, but like, so I had a vision of what it was going to be like to be a parent. Like, I swear. And I read all these books that told me, like, if I just did something this way, my kids would be fine. And I had a vision that like they would never be upset, I think. No, really, I did. Like, if I just did everything right, then my kids would be okay, right? And that was how I went into parenting.
Yeah, like it's so interesting because like it's like there is this like it's almost this like polarity. Like when I think of what is it to be a parent, it's like there's these two images. There's like the way it could be the right way. Like if you just followed the right way, it would be this. Like your kids would be happy, they'd be successful, they would just love you. You'd be all holding hands and kumbaya. It would be lovely. And then there's this other vision of parenting of like the family that's doing it wrong, like the upset and craziness and scramble and the messy house and the laundry piles and like it gets interesting. Like there's like these dualities of what is it to be a parent in like the visions that come up in for me.
Yes, no, I think you're really right. And I think and I think that's the question, right? Like, really, what is parenthood, right? Like, what does it mean to be a parent, right? And we come with, like, that's what you're pointing to. We come with the two pictures, right? I had this really picture. If I follow the manual, it will all be okay, right? And so, like, I'm really curious, like, what, like, can we look at, like, what it is that we think it takes to be a parent? I'm trying to type hello Bree while I'm doing this, so that's what's
Hi,
going on.
Bree. Hi. Oh, my cousin Matt. Hello, Matt. But yeah, because like today, this week, we really want to take a look at like what's already there. Like when we think of parenthood, what
Yeah,
are all those like thoughts we have about it already? What's
yeah,
all the like shoulds? We have so many freaking shoulds. Like this is
totes.
what it should look like. This is what also I should feel. Like that's the
Yes.
interesting thing about like motherhood. I actually read this post on a parenting group this morning, and
Mm-hmm.
this mom, she just had a baby, and the baby's like she's been exhausted. And
Yeah.
like she's likely dealing with who knows what, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to tell on a group and through
Mm-hmm.
communication. Who knows
Mm-hmm.
what she's dealing with? But you can just hear there's such a should there, like somehow
Mm.
she's insufficient because
Ah.
like she's like explaining and trying to prove like she loves her baby,
Mm-hmm.
but like she's tired and she should do this way and she should be that and she should feel this certain way about her child. And it's really interesting because like we have a lot of ideas of what it's supposed to look like or what
Yes.
being a mom or a dad or any kind of parent is. And if we're not that, like that means something about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of broke my heart reading that this morning of like, wow, of just what this mom who loves her baby, I'm sure, to pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and is freaking tired. And it
Mm-hmm.
takes something to be a parent, and like all
It
that
really
love and
does.
care and responsibility, and no manual and no real like right way. We can be told all the right ways of the yin yang. There's no right way. And then like there we are, just kind of like thrown in.
But it
And
is, Szara. It's
yeah,
exactly that,
yeah, and thrown
right?
in with all the ideas of what it should be as well. Like it's bad enough that like we're just kind of thrown in, but it's like we're thrown in with all of these shoulds to like either measure ourselves up against or test
Mm-hmm.
if we're good or
Mm-hmm.
not good because we really love our kids and we want to make sure they
Yeah.
turn out okay. And we
Yeah,
want to
we
do
really
anything we
do,
can for
don't
them.
we? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think, like, and what I'm going to say though is, like, until we start to unpack what our shoulds are and where we're operating from, we actually don't stand a chance, right?
Yeah.
Because we just operate within that confine, right? Like, I should be doing this. And I'm clear, like, when I started parenting, what it looked like is my kids should never cry. And I did everything I knew and everything, like, turned myself into a pretzel to make sure my kids were okay. Never cried because crying was bad, you know? Hey, but that's
Yeah.
the only expression. But do you know what I'm saying? But until I unpacked that a little bit, like, I was pretzeling myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I really hear the opportunity is to look at, like, what is it that we come into this parenting with? Like, what are our shoulds? What are expectations of ourselves that we've never actually looked
Mm.
at?
Yeah. Yeah. And what expectations we have on ourselves and what expectations do we think that other people have on us? Or we
Hands
have it like it's
down.
true. We have it like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, society has this expectation of me, but really we just think society has that expectation on us. But like to get really clear, like what are all the expectations we have on ourselves or society has on us? And how are we operating as a parent right now in that? Like where are we trying to get?
I like that. Where are we trying
Yeah.
to get? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really great.
Yeah.
So
And I can
that's
see for
what we're
myself, like
yeah.
just looking like the shoulds and the where I'm trying to get. It's like, just trying to get, you know, on one level, it's like just trying to get them to survive healthy, happy, and alive. There's like that world, like just get
Mm-hmm.
through,
Yeah.
survive. And then there's this other space, this other like expectation place where like if I am a good parent, then my kids will be happy, successful, and have a full life.
Mm.
Yeah. And not to say like, and even just saying that is interesting because like I have it like as truth. Like if I'm a good parent, if I do the right things, and if I figure it out the right way, well
Mm.
then you know what, my kids will be like happy, fulfilled, successful,
Mm.
and like set
Mm-hmm.
for their life. But
Yeah.
it's like so funny because it's interesting because it's such BS. But I have it as such truth actually. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
There's no room for my kids to be like my kids in that, actually.
No. And to be whoever they are with whatever whatever they came with, right?
Yeah.
Isn't in
Whatever
that
they're
equation
dealing
there.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just like on a like whatever, like on a physical genetic place doesn't get to show up there either, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as basic as that. Yeah. No, I'm with
So
you, right?
interesting.
I know, right? Like if I just do it all right, they'll turn out okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like there's so
So
many
just
traps within that. Like I even look with like my youngest who like,
mhm.
is neurodiverse, he has autism and other things, and it's like he grapples daily with like, how he interacts with the world and people. And I grapple daily with how he interacts and deals with the world and people.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because like in this thing that I have that like, okay, if I'm the good parent, if I'm good enough, if I do the right things and if I know the right way, he's going to be set up for life. So every time like I see evidence that like, oh my gosh, is he actually set up enough? Is he
Mm-hmm.
actually whatever? Like I get into like a panic. Like I'm not doing my
Mm.
job.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden like I cut connection. Like I cut me actually being there for him or being with him.
Yes.
Like, what does he actually need right there? It's like, well, I don't care about the right now. Like, I'm kind of more oriented, like, okay, no, where do you need to get to? And making it about me, well, I'm just obviously really screwing this up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I heard that right there, right? Then where it actually that we don't like our attention isn't then on having our kid win, right? Our attention becomes on us and where we are failing, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is
This is
great. This
quite
week
a
we got to
big
take this on.
conversation, dude. Yeah.
I know. This week we get to look we invite you to take a look at what are all your shoulds.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you trying to get to as a parent? What do you have as the right way? Like just even ask yourself, what is the right way to be a parent?
Yes.
What makes me a good parent and what makes me a bad parent? And afterwards, don't worry, we're gonna burn the list or something, but
yeah, for sure.
that would actually be a great exercise next week. Let's burn it down.
Okay. Yes.
But make your list this week to take a look so you can actually identify for yourself like where you're operating from, like what kind of where that's right there and true for you.
Yeah, because without that you just will continue to operate right from that same space, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. Giddy up.
Okay, and feel free to share it into our committed parenting group because it could be fun to see all the things we think is what it is to be the right kind of parent. Because I bet you some of us have some similar ideas of what being a right parent is all about.
I'm with you on that one. And if you want to post a video around it, go for it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, we can have some fun with this.
I know.
Ooh, I think we should post like a mockumentary. The right parent, the wrong parent. That could be fun. Okay, really awesome.
Awesome.
Let's have fun in this discovery.
Okay, yes. Yes. Not heavy and dying. Just fun. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.